We first meet him as a ghost, a whisper, Sergio Marquina, the professor. He is a man of quiet confidence, always adjusting his glasses with a nervous tick, his only visible crack. He presents himself as an intellectual, a strategist, a man who has spent a lifetime crafting a single, perfect plan. The heist is not just a crime to him, it's an act of resistance, a strike against a corrupt system. He frames it with an ethical code: no bloodshed, no harm to civilians. The professor is the calm center of a coming storm, the conductor of chaos. But look closer, behind those glasses is a cold, calculating fire. This is about more than a plan, it's about absolute control. He has studied every variable, every possibility, every human weakness. The Royal Mint is his chessboard, and everyone inside, police, government, hostages, are pieces to be moved. His team, the Dali masked robbers, believe they are partners in rebellion. But are they? Or are they just instruments, finely tuned by a master? The narrative wants us to see him as a hero, a modern Robin Hood, fighting banks, not people. He prints money, doesn't steal it. The story seduces us, tapping into our frustration with inequality. The professor becomes a symbol of that frustration, the man with the plan to beat the system. We root for him because he's the underdog, the brilliant mind against the monolithic state. Yet, a shadow lingers: manipulation. The cost of his perfect plan isn't measured in euros, but in human lives and will. His calm is a weapon. It disarms, reassures, convinces people to follow him into the fire while he watches from a safe distance. His ethical framework feels less like a moral compass and more like operational parameters for success. The question isn't whether his plan is brilliant. The question is, what human cost does that brilliance demand? He's both the architect of hope and the engineer of sacrifice. The professor's genius is inseparable from his ruthlessness. He offers a fantasy of empowerment, but at what price? His plan is a symphony, but every note is played on the strings of human lives. The professor is not just a mastermind, he is a manipulator, a puppeteer. His greatest trick is making us believe he's the hero, even as he pulls every string. In the end, the brilliance of his plan is matched only by the darkness of its consequences. The professor is the architect of chaos, and its cost is always human. The mask he wears is not just physical, it's the mask of morality, hiding the true price of his genius. The real question: can any plan be perfect if it demands the imperfection of those who carry it out? That is the paradox at the heart of the professor. The professor doesn't just assemble a team, he curates a collection of broken people. Each member is recruited at their lowest point. Tokyo, on the run; Rio, a hacker facing prison; Nairobi, a mother who lost her child; Denver, trapped by his criminal father. He finds them when they have nothing left to lose. This is no accident, it's the first step in his design. Desperation is his lever. He offers them a way out, a new life, a cause bigger than themselves. He doesn't force or threaten. He lays out the plan, shows them the money, paints a future free from their past. But what choice do they really have? When you're at the bottom, you grab the rope, no questions asked. The illusion of free will is his greatest manipulation. He engineers their circumstances to ensure their decision. He gives them new names, city names, stripping away their past identities, severing outside connections. They become Tokyo, Berlin, Nairobi, Rio, components of his machine. Isolated in a villa for months, he becomes their only source of information, their teacher, their leader. He fosters camaraderie, a sense of family, but it's a family built on dependency. He is their savior, mentor, father figure. He offers structure and purpose they've never had, teaching and training them for the battle ahead. They come to trust him implicitly, believe in his genius, his vision. He hasn't just recruited criminals, he's cultivated followers for his cause. Their decision to join wasn't a single moment, but the result of a carefully orchestrated process. The professor engineers not just the plan, but the people who will carry it out. He builds loyalty by offering hope, but that hope is always on his terms. The team is a reflection of his own need for control, each member chosen for their vulnerability. He doesn't just lead them, he owns their choices. The recruitment is a masterclass in psychological manipulation. The professor's power lies in making broken people believe they are whole, if they follow him. He gives them purpose, but at the cost of their autonomy. The illusion of choice is the foundation of his control. In the end, they are not just a team, they are the instruments of his will. The professor's greatest skill is not in planning the heist, but in recruiting the souls who will risk everything for it. He offers them freedom, but only within the boundaries he sets. The real heist is not of money, but of people. The professor steals lives, reshapes them, and calls it salvation. That is the true genius, and the true danger of his recruitment. The professor's strategy is built on exploiting weakness, not just in the system, but in people. He recruits not just for skill, but for psychological profile, people whose vulnerabilities he can leverage. Berlin, a narcissist with a terminal illness, is chosen to lead inside the Mint for his ruthlessness. Helsinki and Oslo are loyal soldiers, predictable and reliable. The professor knows what drives each of them, what they fear, what they desire. This understanding is his most powerful tool. He predicts behavior, maintains control. When conflicts arise, he's ready. He's anticipated arguments, betrayals, moments of weakness. He treats emotions as variables in his equation, not as things to heal, but to manage. His empathy is analytical, not genuine. He outsources the dirty work to Berlin, keeping his own hands clean. The professor remains the benevolent intellectual, while Berlin becomes the villain. The operation is a gamble on his ability to manage volatile personalities. He creates a high-pressure environment, forcing codependency and cult-like devotion. The team becomes his disciples, their vulnerabilities the gears that make his machine turn. He sells them a dream, but the price is their autonomy. They are cogs in his machine, their weaknesses the fuel for his plan. The professor engineers not just the heist, but the people who will risk everything for it. In the end, their vulnerabilities are his greatest asset, and their greatest loss. In the professor's world, love is the most dangerous variable. Unpredictable, irrational, a threat to control. He forbids personal relationships, knowing emotional attachments can override loyalty to the plan, yet he can't contain it. Tokyo and Ryo's romance becomes a critical point of failure. When Ryo is captured, Tokyo's love drives her to reckless action, jeopardizing everything. The professor's rule isn't about morality, it's risk management, and it fails. Ironically, he falls into his own trap, developing feelings for Raquel Murillo, the inspector hunting him. At first, it's strategic. He manipulates her for intelligence, using a fake identity, but the lines blur. Calculated manipulation gives way to genuine emotion. He's drawn to her strength and integrity, overwhelmed by feelings he can't control. His love for Raquel forces him to deviate from the plan, take risks he never would have otherwise. It exposes him, nearly leads to his capture. The ultimate controller loses control of his own heart. Love, the variable he tried to eliminate, becomes his greatest vulnerability. The professor's downfall is not in his plan, but in his inability to manage the chaos of emotion. His heart becomes the one thing he cannot outthink. The architect of control is undone by the very thing he sought to suppress. In the end, love is the flaw in his perfect system, and it changes everything. The love story between the professor and Raquel is the series' central paradox. Control meets chaos. His approach to her is cold and tactical, building a persona to earn her trust. Every gesture is calculated, every word designed to cloud her judgment. Yet, the performance becomes reality. He begins to care for her. He admires her mind, her resilience, her sense of duty. The mask of Salva merges with the face of Sergio. Suddenly, the man who kept the world at arm's length wants to let someone in. But the person he wants is the one trying to capture him. This emotional entanglement humanizes the professor, but also makes him sloppy. He makes mistakes, torn between love and loyalty to his plan. The internal conflict drives the plot. Love is the variable he never anticipated. Ultimately, his love for Raquel changes the game. It's no longer just a heist, it's a personal battle. He chooses to save her, reveals his identity, brings her into his world. It's the ultimate gamble, betting everything on her love. He turns his greatest liability into his greatest ally. The move is born not of strategy, but of desperation and love. The professor's heart, once his weakness, becomes his final risk, and it redefines the meaning of victory and defeat. The professor's power comes from distance, While his team faces danger inside the mint, he operates from a hidden command center. He is a disembodied voice, a godlike figure watching over his creation. This distance allows him to stay objective, analyze, and make rational decisions. He is the brain. They are the body. But is it right for a leader to send others into battle while he remains safe? He pulls the strings, his team dances. They depend on him for survival, trust him absolutely. Yet, technology can fail. Communications can be cut. When the team is forced to improvise, the plan is most vulnerable. The emotional toll is real. He hears the violence, the pain, the loss. He is a voyeur to the chaos he orchestrates, a prisoner in his own cage. The separation is both his strength and his curse. The professor's remote control is essential, but it comes at a cost. He is both omnipotent and powerless, watching as his perfect plan unravels in real time. The mastermind is always just out of reach, of danger and of redemption. The professor's genius is in risk delegation. He outsources danger to his team while he remains insulated. He is the strategist. They are the pawns. His own risks are of capture, not death. The hierarchy is clear. The further from him, the closer to the bullets. It's a brutally efficient model. His survival is paramount to the plan's success. He sells the dream of shared glory, but the risk is not shared equally. He asks for trust and loyalty, offering a plan that requires them to risk everything. He is an employer, providing strategy and tools. They provide labor and absorb consequences. Is he a coward? He'd argue his role is too critical to risk. His presence outside is a strategic necessity, but also self-serving. He's made himself indispensable, justifying his safety at others' expense. It's a brilliant, deeply cynical move. The professor's power is built on the sacrifices of others. He is both mastermind and manipulator, architect and beneficiary. The cost of his genius is always paid by someone else, and that is the true price of his perfect plan. No plan is perfect, especially one involving people. The professor's heist unravels as human emotion collides with strategy. The no bloodshed rule is the first casualty. Jealousy, fear, rage, and love threaten to derail everything. People get hurt. People die. Monica's shot. Oslo injured. Moscow killed. Berlin sacrifices himself. Each loss is a crack in the professor's facade. His clean, elegant operation becomes a bloody reality. The numbers on his blueprint become names he cares for. Survivors are traumatized, haunted by what they've done. Nairobi's dream is shattered. Rio is tortured. Tokyo is left adrift. The professor offered freedom, but never told them it would be haunted by ghosts. He's forced to confront the consequences. Grief and guilt erode his detachment. The perfect plan comes at an imperfect price, paid in blood, tears, and shattered souls. The euros they print cannot buy back what was lost. The true cost of genius is always human. In the end, the professor's greatest creation isn't the heist, it's the team he builds. His masterpiece is human, not architectural. He engineers people, finding broken components and assembling them into a machine for his purpose. He sees people as systems to be hacked and controlled. He creates dependency, isolates his subjects, fosters a cult of personality. He manipulates not just actions, but identities. Is he a genius? Yes. A hero? That's complicated. He positions himself as a revolutionary, but his methods are those of a master manipulator. He outsources risk, keeps his hands clean, lets others pay the price. The ultimate crime isn't the euros he prints, but the way he reconstructs people to fit his design. He offers a dream built on control, freedom granted on his terms. The professor is the architect of a brilliant crime and a subtle form of human subjugation. His genius is making people believe they're fighting for liberation, when they're really executing his devastating plan.